Hello, fellow dog people. This is the Rocker Dog Podcast, the only show that talks to musicians about their wonderful dogs. I'm your host, Tim Dill, along with my ride or die, Charlie. In this episode, we're happy to bring you our conversation with platinum certified outlaw country meets fist to the jaw rocker, Cory Marks, whose latest LP, released late last year, Sorry for Nothing, boasts guest appearances by Sully Erna of Godsmack, country legend Travis Tritt, and Mick Mars. And this is his bear hunting rocker dog.
Oh, we're talking about my dog, Teslin. She's a Karelian Bear dog. She just turned 9 in February, and I actually rescued her. I was out on a tour way up in Teslin, Yukon, in the Yukon, way up in Canada. And this little beautiful thing was right at the fences where our green rooms were, and I found her. I heard a little yelp when we were all coming into the green room, and she was just kind of sitting there. And, I picked her up and thought at the time I had a 12-year-old lab husky at home, which I also rescued from our animal shelter here in North Bay, my hometown, the Humane Society. And long story short, I got a picture with her and I sent it to mom and dad, and I guess mom said, he's going to fucking keep that thing. And so sure enough, I would have loved to, but I knew it was somebody's dog. So, and we're in the Yukon where she was just a puppy. So, over there, there's eagles, bears, coyotes, wolves. It's pretty wildlife up there, really secluded. Yeah. So I brought her into the trailer, and we had nothing for her. My rider was in the trailer, so I crumpled up some Tostito chips and put it in a cup, and she ate it right away. So she must be thirsty. So get her some water, drinks it right away. And then my bass player at the time comes in and pours an ounce of Jack Daniels in a cup. I'm like, what are you doing? It's it's 12:30 in the afternoon. We still got a sound check. And he says, well, if she drinks this, it's your dog. You got to keep her. I said, well, I don't even know whose dog it is. He's like, we'll figure it out. But long story short, she puts her snout in the cup, and I said, it's a puppy. It's obviously not going to drink Jack Daniels. And he starts laughing and shows me the cup, and it was gone. He's like, that's your dog. So we were there for 4 days. It was a beautiful little kind of getaway, but big concert in a small community. And I found out it was this lady came up to the fence. She's like, that's my brother's dog. How did you get it? I said, well, it was right here at the fence. Have him come over. We'll give it back to him. She's like, no, he's been struggling. He's a drug addict. It's not a good thing for the dog. And this town has been trying to save this dog and set up even live traps to get her because she's not safe out there as a puppy for almost 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, so how did you get her? I said, I heard a yelp and I walked up to her and picked her up. She's like, you got to keep the dog. So I kept her.
How'd you get her back home?
We flew her back home, had her in a little crate. That was a little tough because I was really trying to get her one of those cat bags, which just when she'd sit upright, she obviously didn't fit. And when she laid down, she fit enough where she would be, she would just sleep, But the guy gave us a bit of a hard time, and I'm like, damn it, because I didn't want to put her under the airplane, just the horror stories and everything. Yeah. And then we're boarding the plane, I can hear her barking, her little pup bark, and I'm like, oh man. But she made the trip, and the whole community got me a crate for her, some food and everything, because it's a sacred dog up there. They even have a big statue of a Karelian Bear dog. It's a Finnish breed that hunters used, way back when. Yeah. So there was a lot of people that wanted her if I wasn't going to take her, which was really cool. So anyways, yeah, flew her home. There's pictures. Funny. I remember now just thinking of the pictures of her in the crate with my guitar and merch bags and stuff rolling out of Pearson International in Toronto. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I wasn't familiar with the breed, so I immediately look it up, and I'm curious, you must have discovered a lot for yourself as well. Did you know much about the breed, that it was this?
Oh, no.
It's like a big game hunting dog, which is kind of funny when you said it's in peril of eagles and bears, but they're in peril of her now.
Well, you know what? It's funny because it's called a Karelian Bear dog. They're not that big of a dog, actually, because there's usually 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, I'm talking about you, sweetie. And there she is. That's Teslin. We went for a walk, actually, just before this, and I always make sure to take her out. But yeah, her spot's usually right in front of the window, but when she's tired, she hangs out there. They're supposed to be black with white patches, and she's got the black patch on her eye and the black ear, but she's awesome.
That's great.
And she likes to chill. likes to chill a lot, as you can tell. She's just pretty much her daily routine right there. That or on the bed or at the window.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a pretty good life. She's loved. She's got our house. She's got, like, especially with me traveling and stuff, the fiance will have work trips or whatever too. So she's got our house, her parents' house, my parents' house, and we actually have some friends that really love her too. So if we can't get our parents to watch her,
Right.
then she has like 4 or 5 different houses she can stay at.
That's great. That's great to have such a support system.
Yeah, man.
So let me ask you a little bit about the breed. Just see it if it lines up. But what I got
Hmm.
was loves a challenge, not a
Yeah.
barker, and maybe territorial.
Yeah, it's like it's the craziest thing. When we take her for walks, she's the sweetest thing. Like you just saw, that's how she is. When people come over, we can put her around babies, children. There's no problem. Other dogs sometimes, especially her size, are smaller. She just seems, but they're typically like a small game hunter, except for grizzly bears, of course. So there is that, she's great. It's weird. She's really great with my in-laws' dog, little Sam. He's like a little poodle Shih Tzu.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
best
that.
friends. Yeah, they're best friends. But doesn't bark unless someone's at the door, like that kind of thing, or
Yeah,
or only speak when spoken to. She's a talker that way, especially if
right.
a treat's involved. But other than that, like very quiet, but can be territorial. Like anybody that she doesn't recognize on the property is you'll hear her growling or like sit up from her common relaxed position and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
which is
but she's
great.
great.
That's something you want.
Absolutely. Yep. Oh yeah. She's alarmed us a few times with trespassers on the property where I did the ultimate Canadian thing where I didn't know who they were and they were right at the bottom of the stairs at our front porch. So I walked out and it was 3 in the morning, whatever it was. I walked out with a hockey stick, the all-time Canadian thing, and said, "The hell are you guys doing?" And they just left. So, but I heard the warning first from her.
That's great. Is she a couple other adjectives? Independent, loyal, and courageous.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like she's not scared of anything. I mean, obviously, like there's things that will spook her, but very, very loving, very like just quiet and cuddly, and very affectionate, emotional dog. She's definitely an emotional dog. You could almost tell when she's pouting. She knows, like when I'm leaving and packing my suitcase,
Right.
she's on the bed almost by the suitcase, but like you're
Giving you the
leaving
guilt
again.
trip.
Oh
Yeah.
man, like we have this thing called it the side eye or the pig eye because her black patch, the other one, it's like a pig eye. It's like so pink around her white eye. But she will literally like she squints her eyes so like it's only like a little slice where you can see the eye just briefly, but
Right.
and she turns her head like 70 degrees and just kind of gives you like this not impressed, you
Yeah.
know.
And then it's a working dog designation. So
Hmm.
do you need to keep her stimulated? Like, does she need a job? Does she need,
You
one of
you
those?
you saw it, man. She's
She's chill.
if
She's
if
chill.
we're not doing anything, she loves car rides, loves being on the boat. I've taken her up on my plane. I got great pictures of that too. We got her pup muffs for Christmas a couple years ago. So they're little ear muffs. And there's a picture of her literally, you could tell we're couple thousand feet up, and she's just tongue out, looking out the window, just sitting. And when we take her for car rides, she just sits like a person. She'll just
Yeah.
like sit up and just look out the window, and we'll talk to her, like just have our own conversations. But it's like having a human that pants and barks every now and then.
Yeah, that's great. I guess that fits into courageous. I was going to say, I noticed she flies with you. You mentioned
Hmm.
the boat, the car. Has she been to gigs? Has she been on a tour bus?
Actually, yes, she's been on the tour bus, and she was just up and down the aisle saying hi to everybody, loving it. I've had her at a big festival up here in Canada, in Southern Ontario, where it was really cool. I had my parents and some friends, and then of course her. So she was in our green room with us, and she was side stage watching the show, dipping in on some of our rider, with the snacks and stuff,
That's
especially the cheese and the crackers. Um, yeah, the tour I did I guess yeah, last year already. Wow, last February, March, I did a cross Canada tour, and she came to a show in Barrie, Ontario. It was a couple hours from home, but we had a massive backstage. So we had her dog bed there, and she was kind of like the mascot. she wanted to, she'd just go to her dog bed and lay down and chill, or like come up to other people and say hi. And
That's
so
great.
that was really cool. Yeah.
Is she privy to your creative process? Like if you're constructing a song, is she the first to hear it?
Yeah. A lot of the times, yeah, I do a lot of my stuff up here in my room when I'm writing by myself. But often, if I'm in the living room, right where you saw her, I'll kind of come down and be like, "Can I play you a song?" kind of thing. And sometimes she gets up and leaves. I try not to take it too personal.
Now you mentioned, oh, before I get there, I was gonna, my next question, kind of related to your art and your music is often I'll ask if she's on brand, but I want to be specific because I feel like your music is a mutt between country and rock and hard rock.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like much of a mutt. She seems, I don't know if she is a purebred, but that said, is she on brand with you and what you do in your music?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, on that note, like she loves being out in the wild and the farm and running wild and stuff. She's Prince Teslin. She kind of does what she wants when she wants to do it. So I think
Right.
that's pretty on brand with me.
Okay. And is she becoming more and more familiar with the fans? Are the fans becoming more and more familiar with her?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got fans messaging me all the time about her, and because I post her on my stories all the time, pretty much
Yeah.
every day. I did actually on our walk, and she's got her own Instagram page at
Yeah.
Teslin 2016, I believe it is, and yeah, it's really cool, and that's the only thing that breaks my heart is you wish they could be around for at least 20 to 25 years at most, if
Yeah.
not forever. But so we just give her the all the love and all the special treatment we can, within reason of keeping her healthy. We don't want her to get overweight and stuff. So she gets her treats, but it's in moderation, and make sure to take her for walks every day and do all that stuff, keep her happy.
Yeah. That's great. Great. Great for her and great for you.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the husky. Your history with dogs go kind of all the way back to childhood?
Well, see, we always had cats, and I've always
Okay.
wanted a dog, but you know, my brother and I both played competitive hockey growing up. So, with a pup, you need time, you need patience and all that stuff. So when I rescued Emma, I was 14. So we didn't get a dog till I was in high school, but she was my best buddy all through high school and college. And then when I started going to Nashville and stuff, she was so cool. She came from like an abused home too, where she was rescued off of a reserve, and it was tough times for the first 2 3 years because she was still very. I was the only person. It was almost the same story. Like the only person she wasn't timid with, or would puddle if you came at her a little too aggressively or whatever. Until she was about 3 is when she stopped that. Like we never tied her up. We lived in the city. She would not leave the yard. She would just either lay in this old flower bed that we had, and especially when I was gone, she would literally. Our parents got the driveway paved, and there's that line. She would literally just lay there. My parents would let her out like 2 in the morning, go back to bed, and she'd bark to come back in me around 4 or 5. And then when I'd FaceTime my parents or call them, I guess I didn't have FaceTime then. They'd be like, I'm like, "How's Emma?" She's like, "Oh, she's waiting for you at the end of the driveway, like always." And it's almost like she knew when my dad would come to the airport to pick me up. She saw us turning. We're still 100 meters from the house. She saw us turning down the road, and like immediately she'd be there, kind of chilling, and then she'd spark up. She knew it's like somehow she knew I was in the car, and she would just do her laps and everything and go nuts and run inside. So it was a
Yeah,
pretty special thing.
that's a strange phenomenon. I get the same thing. There's like this sixth sense that they do recognize when you are in a quarter mile periphery of your home on
Yeah,
the way home.
it's nuts. It's nuts. And even when even now with Teslin, like when Emily leaves, she goes to the window and it's like she's waiting. But the moment I pull in, it's like she knows it's me right away. She gets up. You could literally see her tail from. I posted something on my story just yesterday. It's probably still there. Like she gets up and you can tell she's like just ready to go. And then I always just do the door code and I open it briefly, just a little bit, enough for her snout to get in. And she like
Yeah.
opens it up and it's like, "Where the hell were you?" It's the coolest thing.
I love it. Well, I also noticed on your social media that while you tour, on occasion you'll visit a shelter.
Yeah, yeah. So this last tour we did. I'm trying to think which cities. I know Boston was one of them. and was it Knoxville?
Mm-mm.
I think Knoxville was one of them, and one in Boston, where we actually got to go in and see how they operate, and obviously take some animals out to play and do their business and stuff. And it's a little heartbreaking because when you go in there, it's like, well, I'll take them all,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just not reality. So with this music, that's one of the things I hope to do is to have enough success where I can build some sort of ranch where dogs can run wild and free, all while being protected by call it a safety fence, I guess, but
Yeah.
just to have a land for everyone to of all the dogs. And my Emily's always like, you would just have every animal, wouldn't you? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. I'd have goats and monkeys and pigs and just have a big farm, because for me it's just, especially when they're happy, there's nothing that, I would imagine, I don't know that feeling yet, but like when your child's happy, you're happy, so
Yeah.
it's kind of one of
Yeah.
those things.
Well, you appear to be an overall animal lover, which is great. Can you zero in on the dog and what's a dog bring to your life?
Well, I think for me, there's just, especially with Teslin now, it's just that there's definitely like a soothing calmness there. There's a separation from, life, and they really teach you to be like, I find they really teach you to really focus on being in the moment and just being alive, and not about the day before or what you're stressing about, or what,
Right.
you know, the anxiety of overthinking and overanalyzing. It's just like, just be here and just, everything's good. I think that's certainly something that she gives to me.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I wind up every show with what I call the zoomies, and that's five fast, frivolous questions that go around in a circle and end up going nowhere. But
I know what the zoomies are all about, man.
the first question is, do you allow your dog to lick your face?
Absolutely.
All right, good, good. Question two is, does Teslin have a theme song?
Uh, Her theme song. I mean, we have all kinds of funny ones, but probably that "You Got a Friend in Me, You
Oh, yeah,
Got a Friend in Me," Toy Story. Yeah,
yeah,
probably
got
that one.
it. Question three, you actually answered. It's hypothetically, if the dog toured with you, what would they want on their tour rider? It sounded like cheese was in the mix.
Oh yeah, the meat tray and cheese share for sure. And those certain dentist sticks or greenies would
Oh, yeah,
certainly
yeah.
be in the mix, and some rawhide every now and then. So when I'm on stage, she can keep herself busy.
Right. Okay. Question four is, do you have a dog voice?
Oh, tons. Yeah, yeah. We have our own language. It's
Okay.
embarrassing as owners sometimes when you like, what the hell am I doing? But they know what it is and they love it. So.
Okay. The flip side of that question is, do you ever give her a voice? Like if she was to be personified, do you have a voice of what she would sound like?
Yeah, it's silly. Like if I call my parents or FaceTime, I'll just put the phone up to her face, like, "Hi, Paul and Rachel," something stupid
Right.
like that.
Okay.
And they're like, "Hi, Teslin." Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, I always ask my guests if there's a dog organization or a service you'd like to shout out. And that could be anything from a shelter or a trainer or a vet, a groomer, whatever.
I mean, I think PetSmart in North Bay, my hometown, we get her nails done and her teeth brushed every whatever it is, month or two, and they take good care of her over there. And of course, the North Bay District Humane Society in North Bay, they helped me bring my first dog back home, Emma. And actually, when I brought the first week, I brought Teslin back home. She went to the pound jail for the night, which was at the Humane Society. She got out the door and ran away. She would do that, and that's what I forgot to mention, and kind of reminded me of threw me back there. She would go on these little rants, I guess, thinking she was still back in Teslin, Yukon. It's like, you can't do that. We're looking for you. And she actually went to jail for a night, which was funny. I had to pick her up in the morning, but they took care of her there too.
All right. Well, Cory, you've concluded your first of probably many dog-oriented podcasts and interviews.
Oh, I loved it.
And
That was really cool.
thank you. I want to thank you for your time, and it's always great to hear about these artist dogs and how they fit in their lives. So I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the time, man. And if you need anything, let me know. Happy to give a hand, especially when it comes to our furry friends.
Awesome. Great to
So
hear.
thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Cory.
Carl, you're a damn good dog.